Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott Wave update for SEI. Now I'm going to get into the micro time frames, but just a quick recap where I have us in Elliott Wave terms. We had a 5-wave move off the significant low at 9.47 cents. Very difficult count. We had an extended 5th wave for our 3rd wave. The 4th wave was a very extended triangle as proposed, and a very short wave 5. So not an easy count by any means, but it does meet all the rules and guidelines. And what's interesting about this, I see this once in a while, it doesn't invalidate things, but sometimes we work on linear scale. So you have to pay attention to both options if it's not working correctly, guidelines, etc. on log scale. So as you can see, our 3rd wave is longer than our 1st, so it is the longest wave in this impulse, but it came to like a 1-to-1, right? So what I'll do in these situations is I'll see what we did in linear scale. And if we take the beginning of our wave 1 off of our 2, you can see we came to the extended 3rd wave target just past the 2.618 extension. And if we then take our 5th wave target, the low of wave 1 off the high of wave 1 off the 4th wave, you can see we actually came through the 1-to-1 extension just shy of the 1.618. So just wanted to show you they still work, those targeting zones, just on linear scale sometimes. This would be very difficult to trade in real time. Very, very difficult. This is one of those counts where you can't really get the accurate count till after it's done. All right, even if you saw this move, you'd be calling a wave 1 here in like an extension. It's very, very difficult. But based on where we are now, it's a very good trade setup. So off our high, we had a very nice WXY, double zigzag combination with a triangle X. Very clean patterns. 5 waves for our C and Y, and our second zigzag, our B wave, was a triangle as well. And we came up just shy of the 1-to-1 extension of W off X. But more importantly, on the larger 5 waves, we hit the 618 retracement. And we reacted off that zone, which is pretty much the ideal spot at 24.07. So because of that, I'm considering this potentially complete. And what that means is this is a larger wave 1, wave 2 on the larger time frame. So think of this wave 1 as this entire move. We're looking for this 3rd wave to the upside on the larger time frame. Now rough targets, I'm not going to put it in right now, but it's usually the -1. All that does is basically put the 1.618 extension. It's very close. Do that now, but if we put the 1.618 extension off the entire wave 1 off the bottom, you can see how close it is. It's just a rough zone. But looking for about $13 from here, which is a potential move of about 3,300%. So very good potential trade setup, and I'm going to focus on the smaller time frames now. Now keep in mind this can fall apart at any time, but as long as it's reacting as it should as an impulse, we stay bullish. So this is also a very difficult count. I have 2 options. First is a diagonal. Very odd diagonal, but it is reaching expected targets, just very shy retracements. So first I have our wave 1 as WXY. We trace to the 236 and the 382. I then have an A, B, C. And interestingly enough, as you know, when I target these things, that's the length of wave 1 off of wave 2. I look for the 618 to the 786 for our target for our 3rd wave in diagonals. Now, what's good about this is depending where we get our pivot for our wave 4, we do not have to overlap, by the way. The rules have changed. If you're not aware of that, I would check out your Elliott wave rules again. It's been updated. You do not have to overlap wave 1. So what we're looking for is a 3-wave move after this to complete this diagonal, if we get a 3-wave move. And wherever that pivot is, because the 3rd wave is shorter than wave 1, our invalidation is going to be the 100% extension of wave 3 off of wave 4. So that offers scalping opportunities to short if this ends up looking correct, because you can get a very tight stop. If you come very close to this area, you put it one tick past that 100, you know you're going to be retracing very deep, because this would complete a 5-wave move, and we'd be looking for the 382 to the 618 to the downside. So that's where it offers opportunity. Again, this isn't bearish. This just also just makes a 1-2, and we'd expect a larger move to the upside. So that's scenario 1. Scenario 2 is we have a completed 1-2-1-2, potentially working on this 2. It could also be in. So I discussed this the other day in H-bar, I believe, and that is sometimes when we make diagonals, we get a very shy retracement and we just start going to the upside. I've seen this multiple times. There's just too many buyers in this market, and that's all you get for your wave 2. I believe it was a 236 on linear scale to show you how weak of a retracement that was, or I guess strong in the bullish sense. Well, it looks like we didn't get it on log, but you can see on linear we did a 236 on linear. So that's a rare thing to happen. I just wanted to show you it because it is valid. And in those terms, if we start continuing on here, this is a 1-2-1-2. Our third wave in blue will come to 668.84, which is a pretty strong move, right? We're talking about 70% over the next couple weeks. So just something to keep in mind. You can zone in on the 15-minute here and try and catch that wave 2. Standard areas we look for is the 382 to the 618. So we hit the 382 there. So you can keep in mind those. If you want to be a little more safe on that, you can also put the potential B wave invalidation, which is that tiny move above the 1.618 extension. So I see 3 waves here. It can be a zigzag, right? Complete. And we just launch from here. It could also be a wave in a flat. And an A wave in a flat can come up all the way to the 1.236 and 382. We then get a partner leg. This becomes a flat as an ABC. And then we continue on. But we can also turn this into a combination, right, where we come lower. So if you want to take advantage of that potential third wave breakout, I usually wait for the break of the 1.618 extension of this move to the downside. That's at 45.82. And by that breakout, stop at the low or whatever the wave count is here to invalidate the impulse. We'll have to wait and see what that is, right? I don't know what wave is going to play out here. I'm just navigating them in real time. So do we have a 1-2-1-2? Or are we making a diagonal? All right, diagonal, we need to come down a little more, most likely. 1-2-1-2, finish pretty quick, and we get moving. And once again, whenever this fourth wave pivot is in the diagonal view, remember that 1-to-1 is the invalidation of that. But yeah, it looks good otherwise. Also keep in mind, if this entire thing collapses, which can happen, every 3-wave move can fail, and currently we only have basically a 3-wave move. So in that situation, obviously we start collapsing, break all significant levels, and at that point I will update the chart. But there's no reason to be bearish at the moment, as long as it is following our paths. All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.